The news. On the news this afternoon, Governor Wike bans use of buildings in residential, urban, non-urban areas for political campaigns. National Peace Committee says violence at campaigns, attitude of politicians troubling. Uniport ASU members to protest half salaries next week, Monday. And on the foreign scene, violent protests put China's zero COVID under strain. My name is Jude Omamigbe, and this is the news. Good afternoon, and thank you for sticking with us. We start this afternoon from River State, as the River State Governor Nyesom Wike has banned the use of premises, buildings, and structures in residential areas, in urban and non-urban areas as campaign offices by political parties without approval. Commissioner for Enforcement of Expensive Public Properties, particularly in Port Harcourt, through indiscriminate posting of handbills, banners, posters, and all sorts of unauthorized materials. In furtherance, said that any political party or association or that wishes to use any premises, buildings, or structures in urban area of River State can obtain permission from the Commissioner for Urban and Physical Planning. Reacting to this, APC spokesperson Dalati Waju said the executive order contravenes the 1999 Constitution.
Both executive orders 21 and 22 are ultra-violent the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. As no state governor or House of Assembly of a state has powers to legislate on an area that is not on the concurrent legislative list of the Constitution. Is it not laughable for the River State governor to tell the world that he wants his political opponents to come to him to get approvals before rallies, conferences, or meetings could be held?
The National Peace Committee has described as troubling the attitude of politicians as well as violence at campaigns ahead of the 2023 general election. The NPC, in a statement, decried the use of language, intimidation. The committee warned that the development, if not curtailed, could undermine the peace accord signed by all the presidential candidates at the International Conference Center in Abuja on the 28th of September. In another development, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has called the electoral body, including of the voters' register. INEC's National Commissioner Festus Okoye made the appeal on Monday following reports that some underage persons were included in the voters' register ahead of the 2023 general election. Mr. Okoye said the register is not perfect, and that is why they dismissed Princess Tambari Dedam on Friday. The court presided National Assembly candidates in River State. Senator Godswill Akpabio says his lawyers are studying the judgment of the Court of Appeal that sacked him as the APC candidate for the Akwa Ibom Northwest and sworn his supporters and constituents to remain calm and law-abiding as they continue campaigning for the success of the APC in this senatorial district. Still on court stories, 10 more foreigners accused of oil theft will be arraigned today. Yesterday, 16 foreign nationals were arraigned and pleaded not guilty to 3-count charges bordering on false pretense, attempted crude oil theft, piracy among others on board a large crude carrier suspected of illicit activity. A Polish captain vessel, Tanu Nehata, who is an Indian national, claimed that he and his crew were merely following his superior's orders.
We had a misunderstanding with the terminal. The documents which were supposed to be filed by the ship's agents, in the night we managed to take all actions what was advised by them, and on 12th of August we were arrested by Equatorial Guinea Navy ship Captain David and taken to Equatorial Guinea. We arrived at Equatorial Guinea on 14th of August, and since then we've been in Equatorial Guinea, and then we were handed over to Nigeria. So that's our side of the story. We are innocent, and we have myself and the ship's crew. We've just been following orders which were provided to us.
The large crude carrier, which is the size of 3 standard football fields, was accosted within the Akpo offshore oil fields in the early hours of the 8th of August and somehow escaped into the open ocean, where she was intercepted and seized by the authorities of Equatorial Guinea. After months of intense bilateral diplomatic negotiations, the vessel was finally repatriated. Well, still ahead, Uniport asks members to protest half salaries next week, Monday. Stay tuned. Good afternoon and welcome in October. ASU chairman at Uniport Uzoma Chima, in an interview with our correspondent, said executives will be meeting today to deliberate on how the rally would go. He said the day will be a lecture-free day to enable the full participation of lecturers. He, however, assured that the union has no plan to embark on another strike action. Now to business. The Minister of Finance budget Nigeria Agenda 2050 to succeed the Vision 2020, which lapsed 2 years ago. Mrs. Hamed said this on Monday in Abuja at the 20th Nigerian Economic Summit. According to the minister, the government had earlier formulated the National Development Plan 2021 to 2025 to succeed the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan 2017 to 2020. In entertainment, Sunflower by Post Malone and Sway Lee has become the most certified song in the history of the United States after it went 17 times platinum. The single, released in 2018, is one of the songs in Post Malone's album Hollywood's Bleeding, released in 2019. The single would become the soundtrack of the hit Marvel cartoon Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. To sports now, reports say that former world number 1 Novak Djokovic will be granted a visa to play in the 2023 Australian Open, despite his deportation from the country ahead of this year's tournament in January. The reports in the media say the Australian government decided to grant him a visa for the Grand Slam contest, overturning a 3-year ban after his ejection from the country. Djokovic, however, told reporters after winning his opening match at the ATP Finals in Turin on Monday that nothing official has been made yet. And finally, from the international scene, crowds of residents in southern China's industrial metropolis of Guangzhou have escaped a compulsory lockdown and clashed with police as anger at strict coronavirus curbs boiled over. Dramatic footage shows some overturning the police vehicle and tearing down COVID control barriers. Riot teams have now been deployed in the area. It follows Guangzhou's worst COVID outbreak since the pandemic began. Amid bad economic figures, China's zero COVID policy is under enormous strain. And that's the news. But before we leave, a quick wrap-up of the story you heard this afternoon. Governor Wike has banned the use of buildings in residential, urban, non-urban areas for political campaigns. A National Peace Committee says violence at campaigns, attitude of politicians troubling. Uniport ASU members to protest half salaries next week, Monday. And on the foreign scene, violent protests have put China's zero COVID under strain. The news was edited by Martha Okere. Cloudy weather is expected in Port Harcourt this afternoon with temperatures of about 27 to 31 degrees expected. Please be advised. Collect your PVC and vote. Your vote is your voice. My name is Jude Omamigbe. Thank you for listening and good afternoon.